Hey and welcome back. In this class we're going to look at something very exciting. We're going to look at how we can navigate from our website to external websites as well as how we can navigate inside a page. Alright, it's going to be very interesting, so let's get started. Firstly, I have my index.html like always. I'm going to quickly add a HTML template or HTML structure. Head, title, it could be anything. Next, body. Now that we have body, inside the body, now what I want to do is I want to have a heading where I want to say this link below goes to google.com. Alright, so let's just add a small little arrow mark as well. Alright, so now we need a link which goes to google.com. So obviously, in order to navigate a user from one part to another, we are going to use something called as an anchor tag, which we talked about in the last class. Alright, so an anchor tag is going to look something like this, in which we have an attribute which is called as href. Href basically means address, right? Inside the address, we can just say .google.com. Click me to go to Google. Right? This is the text the user is going to see. Click me to go to Google. I'm going to save, go back, refresh, and I'm in the friedrice.html. Instead, let's go to the index.html, and we have this. All right. So if I click on this link, what basically is happening is it's going to www.google.com inside our browser or inside our browser. To avoid this, what you have to do is you have to say https / and then this. Save, go back, refresh, and click on it. Now it goes to google.com. Alright, so let me just quickly tell you why that error happened. So what happened is we just wrote www.google.com, right? So when we write something like this, what the browser thinks is there is a file inside our project, inside a folder, which is named like this. Alright, since it does not have the HTTPS in front of it. Now, if I have the HTTPS in front of it, https:// save, go back, refresh, and click on it. Now it replaces the entire link with google.com. Alright, so that's how things work. Alright, so I'm going to show you one more small trick, which is navigating inside a page. Alright, so if you browse the internet regularly, you see a couple of websites having a button saying go to the top or go to the bottom, right? So we're going to do that. So let's say I have a huge article about web development. All right, I'm going to have a paragraph tag and I'm going to have lorem 500 words. All right, so we're going to go back, refresh, right? So we have a huge amount of text on our page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of more paragraphs just like this one. Lorem 1000. Oops, I forgot to click on tab. Refresh. Right? So now we have a huge amount of text. Just for safety, I'm going to add one more paragraph. Lorem 5000. Something like that. So you can just clearly understand the power of lorem ipsum. So it can generate any number of words that you want based on just a number, right? So if you want to create a website which looks real but it's not, you can just use this. It's a very simple tool a lot of people use while creating templates or while creating mockups to showcase their clients or to showcase their work. Just not to make the website look empty or just having look like text is a lot more repeated. All right. So lorem is a very interesting and helpful tool. Okay. Now what we can do is, in order for us to go to the bottom, we can add a anchor tag. It's a lot of scrolling to the left. Yeah, I can say here anchor tag go to the bottom, right? Save, go back, refresh. We have the link here. So now what we have is we have an anchor tag which says go to the bottom. All right. So now if I click on it, I need to go to the bottom, or I need to go to the way this third paragraph starts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another attribute to the paragraph tag. I'm going to say ID last paragraph. All right. So I'm going to explain a lot more about what ID is and why is it useful as we go further into CSS. But now just understand that ID is an attribute, meaning it provides additional information for that tag, right? All right, so we can go back in our anchor tag. What we can say is hash last paragraph. Save, go back, refresh, click on it, and it goes all the way to the bottom. It basically starts off at the third paragraph. All right, so what are we doing here? What are we doing is we are pointing the anchor tag to that last paragraph by using something called as an ID attribute. All right, so for the third paragraph we added a small attribute called as an ID, and inside the ID we gave it a name. This could be anything. This could be even Vamshi as well. And here I would just say hashtag Vamshi. Save, go back, refresh, and it will work exactly the same. All right. So what basically happens is when we click on it, HTML basically looks for an ID which has this particular name. All right. In HTML and CSS, hashtag basically means ID, and you're going to understand why as we go further into CSS. But for now, just know that if you want to navigate inside the page, you're going to use something called as an ID as well as a href. All right. So ID is once again an attribute. All right. So that was a small and quick tutorial on how to kind of navigate from our website to an external page or navigate inside our website. And you can do the same exact thing by having an anchor tag at the bottom and saying go to the top, and we can have a small ID title or just say top. Even that would work fine. Like once again, like I said, ID is something only for representation purposes. Inside that you can name it whatever you want. So I'm just going to say it hashtag top. So when I click on this, it's going to look for an element which has the ID top. All right, save, go back, refresh, and at the end we have something called as go to the top. And if I click on it, it goes to the top. All right, and we can click on it to go to the bottom and vice versa. Alright, so that was a very quick tutorial on multiple different ways of navigation. I hope you learned something. Also, what I want you to do is after each and every lecture is done, either do it with me or once it is done, just remember what we've done inside the lecture and practice it again and again. Because programming is basically practicing, right? You're only going to be perfect in terms of programming, or you're only going to master programming only if you practice it enough. Alright, so once again, I'll leave you with this. So try a little more different stuff. You can also add multiple links to navigate into multiple parts of the website. You can navigate into multiple different other websites and a lot more good stuff. So try it out, experiment with stuff, and I'll see you in the next class.